Okay, that's that's kind of funny. We teach xenos how to earn a substantial additional income working from home. Yeah, you want to make a ton of money online or whatever? Don't do YouTube videos on video games. Do YouTube videos on how to make money on YouTube. That is the way. Hey everybody, it's Stewart, and we're doing a night session here. Yeah, it's pretty dark, pretty stormy out, and I just felt like hopping on some Stellaris. So if you hear like thunder in the background, well, it's because of that. So let's get going, huh? Whoa, check that out! Another 3-plant system, way far away from where we're planning to spread. I just never see us actually using that system, but that's pretty rare, and we found 2, which that's it's. I honestly normally only see like 1 or 2 systems in any given game that have that many planets. I've yet to see the mythical 4-planet system. Apparently, it can happen. I've never seen it happen in a game, but I have seen screenshots. So who knows? Maybe those were doctored or fake. I want to believe, though. I want to believe that one day we will find a crazy star system with like 5 different planets. Well, all that in mind, let's do the stuff. Let's get it going. And just kind of rocking the colonization and all that. Yeah, we're at that time now where we should be considering very seriously our first couple of colonies. Now, Bax is, look at this planet. 8, this is what I'm talking about, right? Look at all these rare planetary features. Just central spire gets a ton of research jobs, ton of special motes. Oh, okay, cool. So we found some nano sand. Now, I haven't really taken the time to talk about nanotechnology on the channel. I'm not an expert or anything with it, but I have seen a lot of interest. I love the research this kind of stuff, right? Like I read The Engines of Creation way back in the day. That's kind of the very first big book about nanotechnology. The Diamond Age. There's a lot of interesting ideas behind molecular machinery that can build that self-replicate, basically. But one thing they never really talk about in the so-called gray goo scenarios where, nanites go crazy and they just start breeding out of control and replicating until they turn the whole planet into nanites. They don't mention that, the loss of thermodynamics would make that take a very long time. Because basically, just like bacteria, nanites have to code the information needed to make more nanites. And if they were to just really start tearing molecules apart to build more nanites, well, that makes heat. That's chemical heat that gets released when you break a molecule, right? So eventually, if they did it too quickly, the nanites would get too hot and they would destroy however they store their information. You see this in bacteria too. If you've ever had a compost bin, you'll notice that the temperature will actually sterilize the soil eventually in the compost bin because bacteria cook themselves in their own heat because they're spreading too quickly. So if bacteria, which have had billions of years to figure out the most efficient ways to replicate themselves, still have that flaw, what does that mean for nanotechnology? Honestly, I don't even think nanites would do a good job competing with bacteria. I think bacteria could evolve at about the same pace as nanites do, and they would develop an immune system basically to deal with the nanites. So I think that the whole scenario of, out of control nanites eating a planet in an instant just couldn't happen. Even without the native life of the planet potentially trying to adapt and evolve to the new threat, Even without that factor, you've got the chemical factor of if they get too hot, they destroy themselves. And that means that there's an upper limit on how fast they could actually replicate. So, sadly, nanosand, probably not actually a thing that could happen. Just the laws of physics and thermodynamics would prevent it. At the same time, it's a really compelling and interesting science fiction story. So, it's one of those cases where do you sacrifice the story, or do you try to stick to the science? It's hard science fiction versus soft. And I'm on the fence about it. I think that it's easy to be afraid of nanites because it's a new technology and there's a lot of potential danger with it. I mean, weaponized nanites would not be great, but I do think that they exaggerate. They treat it like a magic thing, right? Often in science fiction. And so I don't see this whole, like, the nanomachines take over the whole planet as being all that viable or feasible. And if it did happen, it would be something that would take a long time, probably thousands of years, to fully turn an entire planet into nanites. So, anyway, this one's great, though, because we get an Elgate insight, hint, hint, about what the Elgates are doing and what they're about. And we get some nanites resource, which is, that can be pretty good. We'll hold on to that and save it for later. Someone interesting. Now, why are they doing this? They don't want to be friendly with us anymore. Did they open their borders to us?
System survey concluded.
What? I've never seen... I'm confused about this because why has the Taijuru done this? So, first thing first, well, the relative power is we have a truce with them. Did they declare war on somebody? Oh, we have the truce because they broke their non-aggression pact. And because we have a truce, we can actually go through and investigate this anomaly. Let's pause real quick and find the nearest science ship that can actually go and do that. What are you up to? You have no orders. Why do you have no orders? Oh, I see. This one must have been kicked out of somewhere and forced to go back to Seoul. Perfect. So why don't you, who has no orders, I want you to go down here. I want you to research that. And if there's a follow-up, we'll also research the follow-up thing while we have this truce. Sorry about that. Can't start off the show without me being gross. Anyway, yeah, we'll have him go do this anomaly and any kind of follow-up research. And then I imagine, since the Taijuru hasn't expanded here, that there is some dangerous form of alien, spaceborne alien. If that's the case, if it's weak enough, we should take the advantage of this whole situation and charge in there and kill it and scan the debris if we have the opportunity. In the meantime, let's see. So I've secured this. I'm researching that. Good. I needed that to start happening. Let's incorporate an exclave. Or enclave. Enclave is what they call them. Yeah. Let's incorporate an enclave because that will please the Xenophile faction, and we need just a little bit more faction boost because we're running really low on influence. So in the long run, this isn't a great system. I mean, it's only got 4 energy credits. It's nothing really. But I do want to try to please these factions and get as much influence income as we possibly can. I don't know why the Taijuru would break their non-aggression pact when we have equivalent... I honestly, the AI sometimes does weird decisions. But we will see what happens with that. Meanwhile, these two are waiting for influence to accrue so that we can scoop this stuff up. There's no real rush now that we've claimed. So basically, how does the AI expand? Well, they are willing to jump across one star system and make a little exclave, right? But in order to get an exclave here, the Mitrons, right, would have to jump past 2, and they aren't willing to spend that for a long time. Eventually, like the decision-making algorithm, like I'm sure there's some kind of variable that builds up, and eventually they will make that decision because it'll be weighed enough by the AI to make it worth it. But they won't do that for quite some time, so we don't have to worry about expanding here and here to protect it from the Mitrons. Oh, where did this happen? Maval? Maval. Let's find Maval. This one's kind of annoying for... Okay, we don't have to really worry about it. So the problem with pre-Sapients, right? If you go here, 3 pre-Sapient pops. Last I played, this might have been changed in an update, but the last time I played, so these guys, right? They live here. They're pre-Sapient. That you would have to uplift them in order to what am I thinking? Oh, it's not pre-Sapients that are the problem. It's well, maybe it is. Okay, so there's an issue when you are a xenophile empire. If there is a pre-Sapient species, and again, this might be wrong. This might have been changed, or I might be remembering it wrong. But if there's a pre-Sapient species, you can't colonize the planet until you discover the ability to uplift pre-Sapients. I guess it's because they feel like it's too much interference with their the course of their natural evolution. Now that Star Trek thing of like, look, don't touch when it comes to aliens that aren't faster than light species yet. So let's see. All right, we're waiting on. Well, while you're here, go ahead and get these minerals that you passed because we were in that race. Yeah, see what I mean? He did jump past this one to secure Hodronus. Normally, the AI will jump one star system. And the reason he did this is they don't like to settle star systems with just research. There's a little bit of trade as well, but they really don't prioritize these kind of star systems. They'll heavily prioritize ones with minerals and with rare resources. That's why the Mitrons did that leap. Which is, it's okay. It means that maybe some liquid metal will be available, or living metal will be available on the market. And if that's the case, we'll just bite the bullet and buy it when we need it for the edict. We won't be able to keep the living metal edict running full time, but if we're really desperate to build a bunch of megastructures fast, then we might have the option still. In terms of, let's see, so this is why I don't normally build 3 construction ships. We've hit our limit with influence, and that's just not going to change for a long time. We don't have much influence income. Another big decision. You can see that we are starting to get a little fast with our science, which is excellent. Like, the more the merrier of that. So, this is a very important tech, honestly. I like this one, but from what I've seen, it's actually pretty garbage. Sadly, I wish it did something else too, not just colony development speak, because colonies develop fairly quickly anyway. Like, it's not a huge detriment that you're waiting for them to develop, and it takes a while to do this research. I don't know if this is any good at all, really. If it did something else, like made colony ships cheaper, or I feel like it should do something with Empire Sprawl, if I'm being honest, because it's like, well, if everyone on the colony is sleeping, then that's less people that you have to keep track of, I guess. Or maybe it could make colony ships cheaper. Colony ships aren't that expensive anyway. It's a whole thing. I don't think it's a great tech, though. We're going to skip it. I like it in principle because it's kind of cool. Cryonics it's an interesting science. I do like the idea of like putting people into these kind of long, deep sleeps. There are some problems with cryonics, least of which is if you are planning to be frozen for, let's say, 20,000 years or even 10,000 years, you would need to be able to go and repair each individual cell, and that's not from the damage of, the cells being frozen, which does a ton of damage to cells on its own. We have to figure out a way to fix that for cryonics to actually work, because otherwise you're basically taking a relatively healthy human and you are destroying all of their cells with ice crystals. It doesn't work. Maybe there would be a way to prevent that damage. I don't know if there's much research on that. So the other issue, let's say your space voyage is going to take. Oh, the other reason this is kind of silly in Stellaris, like lore-wise, we have faster than light travel. And the point that you have faster than light travel, you don't need to worry about cryonics. Like, you can hop on your spacecraft and fly whatever distance you need to go. Faster than light is pretty much in instant speed. So the whole thing, like, because of relativity as well, like, it doesn't make sense to need cryonics if you have a very fast starship. You need cryonics for the slow kind of chemical thrusters or ion thrusters or even fusion rockets. You would still want to consider cryonics, right? Because those journeys take a couple hundred years. And is it possible to keep enough food and stuff to keep people alive for 100 years or more? Probably not. If you're talking like a 10,000 year journey, though, cryonics doesn't work. And it's actually pretty simple reason. There's half-life in radioactive elements, right? And every human body has some radioactive elements in it. So if you were frozen for 10,000 years, the half-life of, the little bit of radioactive phosphorus and arsenic and other random radioactive compounds that every life form picks up, they would undergo nuclear decay, and your body would be irradiated. So you would wake up, and suddenly you're bathed in radiation just from your own cells. Cryonics is interesting, but maybe not the most practical technology when you really think about it. Anyway, long random side thing. I'm sure you have come to expect that from me by now. Let's get this one. Fast light inhibitors. Very good. It means that bastions and fortress worlds force the invaders to stop, and they can't move any further until they've conquered the system, which is excellent. With this, we will be able to start fortifying and actually be safe in behind our bastions. So I like that. And since these guys are getting frisky, these Taijuru, we're going to want to build a bastion here, I think. So yeah, let's get this sooner rather than later. Let's upgrade this. Now, after the upgrade, I think we'll be strong enough to go after this, and we will go after this because I want that debris. We now have this stuff is secured, so we don't have to worry about the Divine Alari Imperium spreading into us and taking over systems we want. No one cares about twos. Twos is pointless. I think this is actually a real star, though. This sounds like a different spelling of a tier, which would make sense for it to be a star. It could also be Arabic. This sounds like a real star. It might not be, but I would bet it is an actual real star. A lot of the stars in Stellaris are in fact named after real astronomical stars, which is kind of, I like that. I like that they took the time to do the research and put that in. Now we have our upgraded starbase, so that these upgrades will happen very quickly. Once they're done, yeah, we're moving out. We'll take some damage, but I think it's worth securing whatever little technologies we can scan off of these. So, yeah. Now, we should be getting more influence because of this. Yeah, it went up to 0.9. It's not much, but it's something. Oh, wow. We got another edict. The Teachings of Warriors. Now, these, if you summon a private collector, you're done. You'll never be able to get the edict. If you send it to research, it's like 70% chance you're successful at translating it, and then you can unlock an edict. But don't scan. Sometimes the automatic scanning thing is so bad. Why would you go and scan all down this thing when you can go all the way down here? Anyway, let's do no, don't do that. I want that. Let's do this, right? Let's do you dump. Yeah, so I still sometimes have to queue up surveying when the AI automatic survey thing is being hot, stinking garbage. But, you know, whatever. I can't complain too much. AI is always a tricky thing for video game companies to figure out because it's the most taxing for their. It's the hardest thing to come up with. Oh, you're meticulous, so I will send you to scan some stuff. How about you scan? I will start you here, just for maybe a potential level up. Then move you down here, and yeah, we'll start going. We'll send this meticulous one down this little side section. But yeah, AI it takes a long time for to build a good AI. It's very taxing in terms of man hours or programming hours. So it's very expensive to make, and ultimately there are two ways to do it. You can do it the really dumb, stupid way, where it's all decision trees and it's all pre-programmed. So whenever the AI needs to make a decision, it just looks at its decision trees and does what a programmer sat down and figured out would be the smart move to do in a particular scenario. That takes forever to program, and it's never quite as satisfying as you would think, because you have to think of every single possible decision that an AI can make, and in a game as complex as Stellaris, that's really hard to do. Wow, a Gaia world down here with all kinds of goodies. It's pretty far away, but man, I keep saying I'm not going to expand, and then I find a reason to expand. So maybe we will, since we're going to grab this archaeology site, we can get there. Maybe we'll have another sector way down here. I don't know. It sometimes it's tough, like especially when we do not have much planets around our inner core. That was something that we kind of sort of expected in a lot of ways. Okay, you are done upgrading. Let us send you probably to your doom down here. Now, we got stuff happening. Let's get research alternatives because I like having more choices for my tech tree. Right, let's look at the leader pool and just see if we can recruit a trickster. We can. I'm going to do that because we'll lose much less ships with a trickster than we would with this aggressive admiral. So let's do that. And I would much rather, like early game, it's very essential to lose as little as possible of your corvettes because it can sabotage a lot of things. Like if we go in there and we get pummeled and lose like 10 corvettes, we might get warred on by this guy. These guys would be a problem too. It's a very bad situation to be in. And the reason why it hurts so much early game is you just don't have the alloys and you don't have the like the ship upgrades. It takes too long to replace fleet that you lose. So let's do our best to keep that fleet alive as best we can. And the way we do that is with Trickster. Trickster is a very powerful early admiral. They get less good later in the game, but early game they're quite good because corvettes especially benefit from combat disengagement because of their high evasion. Bigger capital ships, not so much. In fact, you kind of don't want your big capital ships to be leaving fights because that's a good way to actually lose your fight. Now, we've successfully scanned all this stuff, and maybe we can get ahead of him, and yeah, so now we know what's going on in this whole region of space. We got to research all the things that were available to research. That is excellent. We're doing okay. We do need to start thinking about the synthoids coming at us. This would be a pretty good choke point, so with this, I do need to get a choke point sooner rather than later. I am going to grab this world, and yeah, that eats like all of our influence up. I mean, there's not much you can do about it. Early game, you just don't have much influence coming in. Later, you'll have more rivalries and stuff like that to feed the beast. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. For now, we'll call spraying to this tomb world like our backup plan. I still want to try to get to Decida and fortify that, maybe grab this and this system and stuff, but if we don't have the influence to get there in time, then we don't. Okay, so this is another one of those ones that gives you a decision. That's because this can be a negative, a bad thing can happen from that. We'll investigate it because, again, I have so many scientists. Some of them need to be pulled from the herd. So, yeah. That is it. Nice. Speaking of scientists, we have our first archaeology thing. Okay, so the precursor events are very powerful events. They can kind of define your game, like what's going to happen in the future. The bowel organism one is especially powerful. I would classify it as like top 2 or 3. Now, it depends on the kind of empire you have, is the one thing. If you have, I don't want to spoil anything, but basically if you design your species a certain way, if you don't care about habitability of worlds, then this is not really good. But if you do care about habitability, if you want to have a lot of different species on your planets, very, very good. So for this playthrough, the one where we want like a ton of immigration, where the challenge is to crossbreed with as many other aliens as we possibly can, best possible thing we could get for that challenge. So very excited to get going on this and seeing what is going on with the WoW, or however you pronounce those guys. More drinking, more coffee. What's this archaeology? Where are you? Where are you? Probably too far away. Okay, let's zoom out a sec and appreciate this system here. That is, man, that's that's a lovely system. I really I love the look of these ice asteroids, and then all these concentric rings around the star. That is very cool. And we might actually be expanding there, so, we might actually get this one. I suspect this might be a trap system, though. It's rare to see that many rings, and there's an event that might spawn, but we'll see what's going on with that. In the meantime, we can't expand or anything like that. We're just kind of waiting for influence to come in. That was a good little tech to pop. Okay. We have not seen any of the genetic techs popping up. I'm a little frustrated by it, to be honest, but I'm going to start switching back to biology techs and hope that pops. Can't remove when he's on a research, but doesn't matter because we have. I want you. Where is this research mission? Is it one they just started? Yes. So cancel because we need you on science. Where are you? Yes. And then this one we can put back on here. Right, you were heading to research that anomaly, so continue and unpause. Away we go. Now, stuff I'm looking at. Well, our Empire Sprawl is starting to go up. It's going to go up. There's not much we can do about it. That's just the natural state of things. We will handle that as best we can. With tech and the main way we're going to handle that is building more. A little bit of noise downstairs, but building more research labs. And how we're going to get more research labs? Anyway, there's like noises going on in the kitchen. Anyway, we're going to make more planets. That's what we're going to do. Ooh, and we can get all kinds of variety. I'm going to stick with human. I don't want to kind of cheat the extra little empires or extra species in. I want them to naturally just join us. Yeah, go ahead and research. Now, what are we going to call this planet? Hold on. I have little naming conventions I like to follow for worlds as well, and I figure basically like, oh, nice, we got destroyers, aren't we cool? Oh, there's weather systems, yeah, awesome. I want to see that sooner rather than later, and it popped up, so let's get it. And let's switch scientists once more, and then put you back on here. Boom. But yeah, weather systems is very important tech. You need to get anti-gravity engineering. I don't know how controlling the weather has anything to do with gravity, but you know, whatever. Stellaris has some weird tech chains sometimes. And then let's see. Oh, I really want to get settling this sooner rather than later too. Need more influence. Don't have it. He'll camp here until we can get there. Right, I want to check situation log. Alloys, we will get that. Almost guaranteed. We also, I swear, every time I try to unpause, I get like, 10 minutes in, and or like a minute passes and too much stuff is happening. So we gotta stop and do something else. Anyway, we gotta design our next Corvette or destroyer. Let's see, we were gonna call this, and I'm probably pronouncing the name wrong, Gagarin. So this was the first human to ever orbit the Earth, the first cosmonaut, Yuri Gagarin. And I like I said, I like to kind of like name all the different ships after various astronauts, etc. So yeah, we've gone from the first dog to the first man, and we'll continue that pattern for a bit, and then like just start naming after random famous astronauts or whatever. I don't know. Maybe like the first taikonaut, the first Chinese astronaut, like and all that stuff. So we got Gagarin class, and what is this class going to be all about? I like to go with medium weapons in the beginning. Eventually, I will have some picket ship stuff, but medium weapons at the start. And the reason why is, well, these guys make decent gunboats, and they're also pretty good at shutting down corvettes. So yeah, we're gonna focus on medium weapons will be energy weapons, because those are the ones we're gonna upgrade the most, and those are the best at doing the most damage. And then some of these for busting shields, and then just generic like boom, 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 and armor. Just a balance of shields and armor. The power is good, auto upgrade, and save. And now we can finally get rid of the Dusseldorf design. I just wish the naming convention wasn't so random for some of these. It's like they're totally random. Like I think names of old Earth battleships ? Or like famous cities. It just jumps around. Like then they have like City Bull class and Aztec class, and you're like, there's no consistency. Come on, like that's one gripe I have about the game. I wish that you could have your own preset naming list, and I'm sure you can do this with a mod, but this is the channel's called VanillaMidnight, not Modded Midnight. So that's my main plan, to play unmodded games. I don't know if I'll continue that forever, but just for now, like I tend to prefer to play unmodded anyway. So just because I like to have the experience as the game developers intended. Too often mods, some of them can be quite good, don't get me wrong. Some of them I do love. Case in point, like there's an amazing mod for Banished that kind of completes the game. And I cannot for the life of me remember. I haven't played Banished in years, but it was called like I don't know, something mod. But that one kind of completes the game. It makes it much more interesting and adds like more supply chains and stuff like that. And it lets you kind of customize and build up your colony in a way that you just couldn't in the basic game of Banished. Banished is a good game. It's really interesting, but it was also... it's easy to get to the end game, and then the end game doesn't feel challenging anymore. It's one of those games that has like fake difficulty, where once you figure out the secret behind it, you aren't scared anymore about it. Now, we will get an anchorage to support the addition of these destroyers. I'm not going to reinforce the fleet just yet, because I feel like our economy's doing okay, but let's get the anchorages first, and then we'll do the other thing. Now, where am I going to build anchorages? I build them in the back of my empire. I build them away from the front lines, and I also like to build them around colonies. So here would be a great spot for an anchorage, because it's going to be defended by Earth, by Barnard's Star, like anything to get in the way of your anchorages. Anchorages are precious babies that you have to defend. Don't put them out on the front lines, because if you lose an anchorage, your whole navy will be in trouble. So yeah, we got to defend those anchorages. Now, what do I name my colony on Alpha Centauri? Well, this is gonna sound super weird, but I kind of love this name. This is just a random name I came up with. I have a whole list of, like, I like writing science fiction. None of the stuff has ever been published. I won't say I'm a bad writer. I just like I'll start writing something and get a good way through, but then you know, like I do run out of steam eventually. So basically, I have a list of planet names from like all my fictional random stories and stuff that I've written over the years. And this is what I came up with for a colony around Alpha Centauri. Now, Alpha Centauri is a real star system. It's actually the closest one to Earth. It's a triple star system. So it's got 3 stars all in orbit of one of each other. Actually, it's more complicated than that. You've got 2 stars orbiting each other, and a 3rd star orbiting the center of gravity of those other 2 stars. And the one that's closest to us is the little like red dwarf star Proxima Centauri. And yeah, that is a very interesting star system. Very interesting. Because not only is it the closest star to us, but we've found a planet around it. A planet that is in the zone that it would need to be to have liquid water, temperature-wise. So that is very likely will be the very first colony that we settle when we start moving out to the stars, both because it's closer, so it's easier to reach, and because, you know, this planet, it might even have water on it, like oceans and stuff. We can't actually take pictures yet of planets around, you know, other stars. Obviously, there's lots of distance involved and all that. But we can use physics, right, and look at how the star wobbles from the tidal pull of the planet orbiting it. You know, because basically, yeah, a star holds the planet gravitationally, but the planet also holds the star. And as the planet orbits, it pulls the star ever so slightly back and forth. And we can pick that up. We can actually see how the light shifts as the planet orbiting it pulls it ever so slightly back and forth. And from that, we can figure out, basically, from looking at light waves, we can figure out if the wave is moving forward towards us or away from us, and figure out through, I mean, it's a whole series of equations, but the idea is because of this Doppler effect of the starlight, we can figure out exactly how large the planet around it is and how far away it is. And then, based on the star's luminosity, we know, well, if it's this distance from the star, its ambient temperature will be the right temperature for liquid water, or it'll be too far away and be too cold, so it's ice, or be too close, so it's either boiling gas, or it doesn't even have an atmosphere. And we can tell that this world is the right distance to have, it's called the Goldilocks zone, right? So we know that if water is on this planet, it'll probably be a liquid water, which is really exciting stuff. And we've only just discovered this. So I came up with a name for this planet. I think it's kind of a silly name, but I like it all the same. Bermbergl. So Bermbergl is, I forget the exact language, but it's from a native Australian language, and it's the name they had for Alpha Centauri. I love it. It sounds cool. It sounds like an alien world, and I like giving representation to various different people. So yeah, Barbenheimer is going to be our first colony around Alpha Centauri. And so we'll get that going, and I'm finally going to unpause. It's been what? Oh my goodness, almost 20 minutes. Oh jeez. I don't know why anyone would watch this if nothing happens. Maybe you like what the information I'm talking about. I hope you do. Okay, so, oh no. Wait, well, we didn't totally lose, but we lost a little bit. Yeah, the lorry beat us to it. I really want to scan that debris, but we get a consolation prize. We'll get to kill this station, and when we kill the station, we'll get a little bit of minerals and energy. It's nothing like getting a free tech, but no, we took too long. It's kind of a shame, but hey, at least you know that. Oh, I guess we didn't even get any of that either. Great. Well, that was a waste of my time. Stupid Alari beat us to it. Let's send them out and just see if there's a side ship we can send in that direction. None all that close. I guess this will be the next one. The reason this one isn't working is they're still on the archaeology and probably will be for forever. Okay, so we got machinery inside. Let's gently excavate. So this is just a... I forget what the probe the asteroid thing does. It might spawn like evil bad guys, but yeah, we'll probe carefully so it becomes a +4 energy world. There's some like drones or whatever like guarding the inside of the asteroid. Well, okay. Oh, we could feasibly take this one on. That's gonna be a tough fight though. We'll need the destroyers. We'll get the destroyers, and with those, we should have enough to maybe take on a 1K alien fleet. Because I definitely want some. I mean, we really do need to get some technology from killing spaceborne aliens. This one, that's a death sentence, because well, I can tell you exactly what would happen. We attack this one, right? But our fleet would fly in closer to attack it, which would attract this one. And our fleet would fly in closer to attack that, which would attract this one. Before you know it, I would have like all 10K worth of space amoebas just destroying me. So, no thank you. I won't attempt that for quite some time. It's a good way to lose a fleet and get nothing out of it. So, we're not going to do it. Gosh, well, that is a shame. I did wait a little too long, though. I could have gone in when I had like 895 and hope that the trickster guy protect my ships enough, but I was a coward. I would rather err on the side of caution, though. I don't want to lose a ton of ships early game. It's really hard to come back from that. I mean, it's not like you can't do it, but it adds up. It can be really bad for the economy because you need that. You need the alloys for all kinds of other stuff you're doing, like building anchorages, and it's a bad time. So, that is that. Let's see. Do we want to... Yeah, we actually do want... yeah, take my money. Take it. Because I want to... Okay, you have expanded to Wegmore. I really want to get Bax, and I needed a little bit more influence, and that will unlock it. So Bax will be our second territory. Oh, Triumph. So these are the wandering kind of caravaneers. The caravaneers offer you all kinds of crazy deals. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're garbage. The Triumph tends to be not great. But we'll look at what they have all the same. Let's see. Okay, that's kind of funny. We teach xenos how to earn a substantial additional income working from home. Yeah, you want to make a ton of money online or whatever? Don't do YouTube videos on video games. Do YouTube videos on how to make money on YouTube. that is the way, right? Okay, let's see. Hell no, I will not give you. This is such a bad deal. I'm not giving up 4 population for a temporary buff. Please never come back. You are a disaster. Hold on. Okay, you're up here. Go ahead and hook this up as well. Just, you know, we gotta get some of that good dosh coming in. We got another side ship kind of twiddling his thumbs. So let's see, positron bombardment. Yes, sure. Well, this could potentially give him a level up. We will see what happens. And I'm gonna work over. He can go over here next, because if I can, I'd like to scan this before the Stellaris scan and colonize it. So, because we might get another anomaly or two out of that. Let's see, VMOS is done. Why don't you... Actually, okay. You, don't stop here. I want you to go straight to here. Because you are apparently the closest ship and all that jazz. You can go here instead. Perfect. Alright, let me get a little sip. Oh, that's nice. I am drinking coffee late at night, probably a mistake, but I needed something nice and warm. It's been cold for February, honestly, like cold and raining, and we're due to have rain all week, nonstop, and it's been quite a downpour already. I think we're going to get washed away, honestly. All right. Soul Station. I remember you. Yeah, get an off-road training hub, please. We definitely need one of those. Just for extra trade. Extra trade means more consumer goods. More consumer goods means we are having a good time in terms of, this is a good one. Intellectual is a good one. Awesome. I definitely need more science stuff, and I'm wondering how to get it. Maybe it's time to replace this with a science guy instead, but I still want a little bit more Unity. I get some science. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. Let's go ahead and search the abandoned ship. We'll have plenty of time to get to that. We have like years and years to go and scan it. But the nice thing is you get a pretty cool bonus usually out of that. Where are you? Where's Iflon? Okay. You did find a thing. Can you research that, please? And then we will go in here and research the other bit. I don't have much alloy production either. Like some parts of my economy, I am not. You know, they are not bringing me joy. To quote, you know, the great Ishio Kaku. I just, you know, it's not really doing what I need it to be doing. I don't have much alloy income. I just don't have enough planets yet. I need to colonize more worlds. It's the big issue. So we're starting on that now. We definitely want to continue and just like really get out there and spread out. How are we doing in terms of migration? Are we still just all humans? Still just all humans, and probably will be for a while. It's really hard to get. We can probably turn off the forcing this job now because it's filled up. Oh god, sorry. But yeah, we can turn that off. Our economy is strong. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting for some stuff to happen. Let's go and build this. Alpha Centauri. Here. You are our anchorage, so get more anchorage. Once we have more anchorage, we can start upgrading. Did I not? Let me go to Fleet Manager. No, you're in here. Why can't I upgrade you? Oh, I have no alloy. Okay, that's a problem. Yeah, we'll need to work that out sooner rather than later. Okay, that's nice. Whoa, look at this. A lot of good stuff. What game? A lot of things that I want all at once, and I can't decide. Man, I love terraforming. It just honestly, I don't need it too much, but it's a fun flavor, right? It's fun to like turn Mars green and that kind of stuff. Speaking of which, I might be. I don't want this channel to be just Paradox games, but man, they have some good space ones out. I've been really keen to play the latest expansion of Surviving Mars. I'm not good at that game, so I don't know if I can give as much like awesome advice as I can with Stellaris, but maybe we'll do that in the future. You know, if people are keen on that kind of thing. I'll also be doing City Skylines, but for now, like for the next couple of weeks, we're just going to focus on Stellaris and really build up from that. I'm going to try to release Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and so we'll probably get through this in a month, this campaign, and then after that we might branch out, try out some different games and stuff. Like ultimately, I like a big variety of things, like mostly management sims and city builders and you know, grand strategy stuff. So probably a ton of Paradox games, to be honest, because they've been making so many good ones lately. And I want to play them all. I love them. Let's see. So this is the one I think we need to unlock the better genetics stuff. I might be wrong on that. It might be xenobiology, but we're kind of like needing this one, honestly, just to get more administrators and stuff out. It's a tough call. Expansion's great, but we're nowhere near our cap yet. We can build 2 more stations, and we can't even afford anything. We won't be able to terraform for a long time, just because we don't have enough of an economy for it. So really the choice is xenobiology, so more research, or getting an upgrade to the capital. I think the more research is what we're going to do, because I'm hoping this might be one of the requirements to get the more advanced genetic stuff, which we really need. We need that for Xeno Compatibility, and we want to get Xeno Compatibility faster rather than later. Okay, so we've finished archaeology site. Something mysterious about the Grenur attacking these bowels, and we found that there's just some intriguing stuff. We want to do some more. So let's see where the next battle is. Right in here. Lovely. Let's see. That is interesting. Let's stop. Now, I was sending one of these guys, this guy, all the way over here to research. Well, he's not doing that anymore. He is going to research these projects instead, and I will send this one to go scan just because he's closer and we'll get there faster. As for this, yeah, we don't really have any influence, so we're just kind of sitting in anticipation for further expansion. We won't have much influence for a while. This part of the game, influence dries up until you meet more. Really, you're getting it mostly from meeting other civilizations, and looking at it, we are cut off. We probably won't make too many more first contacts, at least for a while. Now the Gorf is doing well. Look at them. Wow. They have colonized a ton. Hopefully they won't get eaten. The night birth necro mage dudes have let's go murder this one right away. Go. Let's see. Quote down here. Sorry, I heard something. Here to send this scientist. No one has actually done this anomaly. Let's just go ahead and do it. See what happens. It's getting to the point though where we've got a little bit more scanning we can do in this direction, and after that, scientists kind of run out of steam. Like we're running out of things to survey. And once that happens, well, I'll be doing certain things with our scientists. Bad things with our scientists. So look forward to that. In terms of, let's see, we're coming up on our hour. Okay, so we found another archaeology site. I feel like 20 minutes of that hour were dedicated just to talking about nerdy stuff, but I'll try to do a recording sooner rather than later so we can see what happens next. Once we hit that hour, though, okay, we got a new colony. Fun stuff is happening. Before I forget, I will do one thing. While I'm thinking about, go to Artesian Troop. How are you doing? We want an art piece. Awesome. So we will have that ready for Goal. Which ultimately Goal's fate, it's going to be like a rural colony. It's not going to like... I'll turn into a refinery world at some point, and that'll be that. It's not going to be all that impressive. It's not in anywhere that you want to fortify it. It's not got any interesting resources. So ultimately, it's just going to kind of like help our economy out and sit there, and that's it. But with all that in mind, like, yeah, we are hitting our time limit today. I am sorry that it seems that we haven't made quite so much progress. Okay, we'll get the science officer and take a look at them. But look forward to next episode. Now that we still have quite a bit to scan, but it's not going to last forever. I honestly think that we're going to get cut off by the expansion of the Gox, at which point we have to come up with a new use for our scientists, and we'll begin some mileage out of them fairly soon. It's a little surprise that will be coming around for our increasingly elderly scientist leader pool. They're getting up there. Maybe we need some fresh meat into the scientist pool. So yeah. We'll see what happens with that, and I'm sure some people know what I'm talking about, but yeah, we're gonna shake up the leadership in the near future. So look forward to that. We got some colonies coming in, and our economy is going to start really kind of ramping up. Our science is going to start ramping up. Everything is about to get much faster and much crazier. So I think this is a good stopping point, and look forward to the next episode, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and cheers.